What's up, guys? One of the questions I get asked most often is who should I summon for in Spongebob Tower Defense? So today we're going to be partly answering that question, and we're going to be going through every single mythic in the game, and I'm going to be showing you guys the best ones to get. Before we hop in it, we are going to be doing a big giveaway at 17.5k and one at 20,000 subs, so make sure to hit the subscribe button. And also, guys, in a few days we have the new update, and I'll be talking more about that in future episodes, so make sure you guys have your notifications turned on. I can't wait to show you guys what's going to be in the new update. Here we go, guys. Let's start it off with the splash damage AoE unit. All right, first up, I do need to cut myself a one of these Captain Magmas. So let me do that real quick. F in the chat for my spatulas, but we do need this to compare for the video. All right, here we go, guys. Let's get it started. They all cost $13.50 because they're splash damage AoE. Let's get it started with Captain Magma. All right, here we go, guys. Captain Magma has a big circle AoE, and I believe he also has a burning type effect as well. As far as splash damage goes, that's looking pretty good, guys. 1820 for 2.5. All right, let's get down another unit down, and we can kind of start comparing. Next up, we have Dirty Dan. I'm gonna be honest, guys. 800 for 1.8 compared to Captain Magma, DPS wise, is literally nothing. So far, Captain Magma definitely has the edge. And our boy is unfortunately like second place. Oh my gosh, we're getting kind of stuff here. Let me go upgrade this guy real quick. I don't want to get absolutely toasted here. All right, I'm just gonna put all that in the back. Hopefully that's gonna be enough to cover. I'm gonna be honest, guys, splash damage AoE is not necessarily the greatest in this game. All right, so I think we should be okay, but let me upgrade just in case. Oh my gosh, they're kind of toasting us. Holy frick, man. All right, anyway, so far we have Captain Magma is the best, and then Dirty Dan is kind of somewhere later on. But next up we have Bang Geek Mr. Krabs. So Bang Geek Mr. Krabs, you guys can kind of see his AoE is really big and his damage is actually pretty good. So compared to Dirty Dan, he is definitely a lot better. Look at that, guys. 950 for 1.5. So far I'm gonna give Captain Magma the edge DPS wise, but I will say this guy does have a very nice size AoE. All right, next up we have King Neptune. King Neptune's damage is so bad. I don't know, it might be bugged or something, but I don't think I've ever seen a unit with this bad damage and 3 SPA. So I don't know, maybe King Neptune is better in some other respects, or maybe this damage isn't accurate, but like as we can see right here, guys, he kind of sucks. All right, K-Man Spongebob, unfortunately I do have a trade on him, but you guys can see his AoE is very, very tiny, which kind of makes him a little bit on the mid side. And his damage, while it is a lot higher, this is because of, you know, the fact that he has Caveman on him and he is higher level. So honestly, I don't necessarily like him because his AoE is kind of really poor, but I will say he definitely is better than King Neptune. As far as him being better than Dirty Dan, I don't know, it's kind of tough. I'm gonna be honest though, I am gonna give Dirty Dan the edge. So as far as the best units go, I'm gonna be honest, it's a little bit tough. But if we take a look, guys, obviously I'm gonna say Captain Magma he's a little bit hard to get, but Captain Magma I'm gonna give the edge. This guy's gonna be second place. Third place is going to be Dirty Dan. All right, Dirty Dan is gonna be third place. Where's my boy Dirty Dan at? Also, another nice thing about Dirty Dan is you can actually like get him shiny Wumbo. K-Man Spongebob, I don't think it's ever possible to get him shiny Wumbo, so that kind of sucks. And then King Neptune is going to be at the end. He's the worst splash damage AoE unit in the game. All right, let's go move on to Pierce. All right, next up, guys, we're gonna have the Pierce. There's only 2 Pierce units that I can see, guys. We have Sea Rhino, 2,500 for 1.8, and we have Mrs. Puff, 1,800 for 2. I'm gonna be honest, guys, Sea Rhino definitely has a pretty distinct edge. The only problem with Sea Rhino is I believe his placement is a little bit larger, so he takes up more space, which might make it harder in game modes like Sandy's Treehouse or Tree Dome. All right, let's go get some upgrades as well. I'm going to see if the maxed out stats is going to change that at all. 60,250 for 1.5. And then we have 4,005 for 1.7. Overall, guys, Sea Rhino is just better. More range, more stats, more everything. So this is going to be a pretty easy ranking for us. So Sea Rhino, guys, best Pierce mythic, and then Mrs. Puff is right after. All right, you guys can kind of see, look at all these units left. We have a lot of units left. Most of them are actually line AoE. Line AoE, I would say, is the most popular AoE in the game, but first up, let's do the full AoE units. All right, next up, guys, we got the full AoE units. Let's get it started. First up, we have Realistic Fish Head. So Realistic Fish Head is going to be doing 450 for 2. and his companion is Smitty. They're very, very similar units. So Smitty is doing 520 for 2. So you guys can see they're both level 1. The only real difference is it looks like Smitty is starting off with more damage just straight up. That might be due to his animation being longer. I'm not sure, but he is in fact doing more damage. All right, then next up we have the Quickster 540 for 1.5. I'm gonna be honest, that is higher damage and faster SPA than any of these units, 16 and more range. So far it looks like Quickster has a pretty distinct edge over those guys. I think we're about to die though. These guys ain't doing dang any damage. All right, let's go max these guys out. So 1356 for 1.3, kind of low. Let's go upgrade this guy. Okay, he's getting a little bit higher. 1304 for 1.7. So honestly, this guy has a much faster SPA and still more damage. Now, as far as Fishhead goes, let's go see if he's going to catch up at all. So Fishhead, wow, Fishhead sucked. So compared to Smitty, Fishhead just sucks, bro. So yeah, it looks like Smitty is just straight up better unless animation times are a factor. Yeah, literally just worse damage. So Quickster has a pretty big edge with way faster SPA, and then Smitty and then Fishhead is actually a lot worse after they reconfigured the stat. So it's pretty easy ranking, guys. Full AoE is going to be Quickster, then Smitty, and then Fishhead. I will say these two are a lot easier to get shiny Wumbo though, so that might factor in, but Quickster is doing just a ton more damage in general. All right, we're gonna have to break up this next part into 2 parts because there's a lot of OP units there, guys. So let's get it started. All right, here we go, guys. We got a bunch of units off, so we got a lot of stuff to cover now. So let's start off with our boy Pinhead Larry. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even sure he's gonna be able to hold us down. All right, let me get a few units down. I'm not trying to die here in the back. All right, there we go. We should hopefully be okay after that. All right, so Pinhead Larry, I think he's one of the worst in the game. You guys can see his stats, 1200 for 2. All right, that is not leaving a lot to be desired. I would much rather have dang near any other unit. So, and look at that range, guys, 16 range. So next up, we got Mermaid Man. Let's go see how good Mermaid Man is. Honestly, Mermaid Man, I would say is actually worse. He does have a wider line AoE, it looks like. But damage-wise, honestly, yeah. So far, Mermaid Man is definitely the worst. Like, it's not even close. That's interesting. So he's the worst right now. And then we have Pinhead Larry, the second worst. And we're getting absolutely destroyed. Oh my gosh. We got to really step it up here. All right, so next up, let's go take a look at Man Ray. So Man Ray is only doing 900 damage, but he has a 1 SPA. Now, I think his animation might be a little bit longer, but if you're factoring in DPS, he has like 50% more DPS than Pinhead Larry. But again, I'm not sure how animation times affect the actual DPS. We're still waiting for the devs to comment on that. So far, this is the rankings. Next up, we have Sandy. Let's see if Sandy is better than Man Ray. 1250 for 1.8. I'm gonna be honest, guys, that is not really that good. However, that is actually still better than Pinhead Larry. So it looks like Man Ray right now is seeming like the GOAT. So Man Ray is probably the best of the banner line AoEs. And then lastly, we have Richard, which everybody knows is the GOAT. 2400 for 1.5. That is dramatically higher than Man Ray's DPS and actually honestly over double Sandy's DPS. So far, Richard, guys, is by far the best line AoE unit that we have tested so far. So we're going to use him as our point of comparison when we check out the better versions. But first, let's get the tier list up to date. All right, so far on the tier list, we have Richard, and then we have Man Ray, Sandy, Pinhead, and then we have Merman. Now, we only have 2 more units left, guys. Now, these are some of the best units in the entire game. We have GG Rock and Bubbles. So let's go see which one of these is the best. All right, here we go, guys. Let's get it started. First up, we have Man Ray as our point of comparison again. And we also have a Richard as well. So Richard is going to be really OP. Look at that, guys. 2400 for 1.5, but look at Bubbles. All right, Bubbles is doing only a little bit more damage, but a dramatically faster SPA and more range. So Bubbles is clearly better than Richard. And honestly, Bubbles isn't even that hard to get. He is pay to win, though. I believe he's only in the premium side of the battle pass. And then we have GG Rock, the OG unit. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. It's really hard to compare GG Rock because I don't really believe his SPA stats. His animation is fairly long. So I think his SPA is kind of bugged. So I'm not really sure. But technically speaking, guys, if we base this solely on what this stat card says, GG Rock is doing like dang near double, probably double the DPS. Now, I don't necessarily think that's the most accurate. As you guys can see, I think his Bubbles animation time is a lot faster. and GG Rocks just seems to take forever. So I need your guys' help down below. Comment down below, do you guys like GG Rock or Bubbles better? And then Richard obviously is going to be last place, but again, yeah, I think GG Rock's just straight up better than Richard. So I'm gonna be honest, guys, we're gonna have to base this on the numbers. So based on the numbers, I don't know if they're accurate. GG Rock is the best and Bubbles is second best. But again, you guys need to comment down below, is this really true? So there you go, guys. There's our full tier list. Let's go zoom in. So best full AoE unit we have is GG Rock, and then we have, I mean, that's best line unit. Okay, Quickstir is the best full AoE by far. Line AoE, it's between Bubbles and GG Rock. Pierce, it's C Rhino by far, and Splash, it is Captain Magma by far. So those are the best units you guys want to go for. Now, unfortunately, none of these units are easily obtainable, so we need to go on to the next best banner version. So the best banner unit you can summon for is Smitty for full AoE, Man Ray for line AoE, and for splash damage, it is Dirty Dan, but I don't really recommend it. So honestly, my favorite units to get from the banner at this point are going to be Smitty. Everybody else kind of pales in comparison. Quickstir is a lot better though, and he's really good if you can summon in the exclusive banner, like if you had a lot of chests that open up into Magic Conscious. So there you go, guys. Comment down below who you think is the best Mythic, and comment down below what video I should make next. Peace out.